I am no Jedi. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel. Hello, explorers, and welcome to Ahsoka Recap Episode 5. I'm still over in Arizona at the Grand Canyon, just so I can stay up and watch Ahsoka at a normal time and be a normal person. So, before we start the show, what we'll do is just quickly and literally, let's go no more than 5 words, sum up your feelings from Episode 5. We'll start with you first, Jimmy.
It was fine.
Yeah, okay. Taylor?
Oh my gosh. Exhilarating?
Okay, happy days. And then from me then, I told you so.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too from our last episode, and then what you and Jake both said.
Yep.
Kind of came through, and
what a prediction! A prediction!
Yeah. We missed a few things, but there's still time.
Oh, there's plenty of time. So we'll start with the obvious. Then we'll start from the start. Obviously, from this point, there's going to be loads of spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episode, pause the podcast, come back to us once you've watched it. So yeah, just straight from the off, the world between worlds.
Oh yeah, I thought the music was fantastic. My wife didn't like it. I thought it was very like samurai-esque, like it gave me this Oriental, like Asian feel to it, mixed with Star Wars,
slow.
And then just the panning over the trees and over the ocean. That was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
I love that. And then I got to where Jason came out and he's like looking around. I'm like, he can sense the world between worlds. He's going to be a powerful Jedi.
He's going to be a really powerful Jedi. Really powerful.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with him.
Super
impressed with him.
I was trying to understand what it was that he was hearing, because like Hera just like trusts, like, yeah, he hears something. But like, I was like, how is he hearing this? But if he can hear the world between worlds, like, oh my...
He's so focused.
He can sense it?
At that age, to be so focused to hear those sort of noises, we need to do a midichlorian count on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just... It's going to open up a lot of questions, man. They're going to have to do something to get these people out of this galaxy for the sequels. Like, you can't have someone that might be that powerful, along with Ahsoka and Sabine and Hera. I mean, I guess we saw the ghost at the Battle of Exegol, though, so who knows?
Yeah. But again, you sort of hit the nail on the head there.
But I don't know.
Who's to say they don't get out of this galaxy until the Battle of Exegol?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, we got 3 episodes left, but yes, we kind of jumped right into the world between worlds.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? Like, I
loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That opening sequence.
I loved it. I love seeing all the Clone Wars stuff come to life. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Did we spot Captain Rex?
Yes.
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, awesome little cameo there. Love to see him. I loved it. It went back to little snips. Again, I don't know who the child actor was at both stages, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, that girl was fantastic. I loved how they kept changing Anakin's hair.
Yeah,
I wrote that. Got that.
Uniform. I mean, the attention to detail was so good as far as. This is the first time, though, I will say that this is the first time that it was very volumey for me. I was like, ugh.
I loved it, mate.
But what they did, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Taylor?
So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. Ahsoka recap episode or part 5. This it's called Shadow Warrior, and this one was directed by Dave Filoni. So we knew it was going to be a good one, and we heard that there was going to be. We heard the rumors about Anakin showing up and all of this stuff, but we got so much more in this episode than I was expecting. First of all, yes, we get the beautiful forest. It's quiet, like you get this feeling of just empty, like it's just empty, like it's soaring over the blue, blue, all the red trees, which I loved. And then it just shows like the silence of the battle that was there before with like the split map and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was beautiful. And then right away it goes right into where we where we left off last time with Anakin and Ahsoka. And she's like, I don't know what happened. And he's like, trust me, you lost. Like, oh, just so good. Like, just the conversation between them, it like picks up, like the joking, like the snippiness between them. He calls her snips like 3 times. Like, oh, my heart was just singing. My face hurts from smiling so much. We got what we wanted and more. I love it. Oh, my favorite episode so far. Yes.
Yeah, I thought there was some really good stuff in that opening. There were some really good callbacks. The locator that Hera's using when they're on the Space Stonehenge is straight out of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And then of course I don't know if you guys. I mean, I'm sure you caught it, but the Senator Organa reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
that was very
covering for you
cool.
as much as she can.
Yeah, so I mean, I
It's
thought that was a pretty
obviously
strong
Leia,
opening.
you guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a really strong opening. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come on to that in a bit. 'Cause
I know.
there's something about that's really relevant as well. And like I said on the prediction show, I told you that he'd finish the training. I just know for a fact now, as soon as she opens those blades, they ain't going to be white.
They're not going to be white?
I won't be surprised with the 2 yellow blades.
Yeah, that's something we talked about yesterday or the other days.
Yeah.
Now that her training's complete, she's going to be a Jedi now. Like, she'll be a master.
We also mentioned, again, we said that it's going to be a bit of a more of a story filler episode. I was expecting it to stop at the point where she was saying about Sabine and then flick to Thorn. I thought I'd see Thorn at the end of this one.
Yeah, I kept waiting for. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, this is not my favorite episode, and I think some of it's to do with the fact that Shin and Balin weren't in it. Like,
that's true.
Weirdly attached to those 2 characters and their story. I think brings a lot more to the show. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved what we saw, but I'm just gonna say, like, this is not my favorite episode by any means. I would put it second or third for me.
Yeah.
So, but tons of good stuff. I thought the pacing was a little weird.
Yeah.
On it,
Very slow.
I didn't think it flowed as.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, and then when the action picked up, it wasn't like, I don't know. It just, but the action was so good. But there was something. It was the pacing or something, or it was the volume. I don't know. Maybe I had expectations. Maybe it's my own fault because my expectations were. But I feel like everything I wanted to see, for the most part, I got to see. So I don't know. I just. But sometimes maybe I'm just so overwhelmed with everything too, because there was so. When I was waiting for you guys, I went back and I rewatched all the Clone Wars stuff and Space Whale stuff, and I was like, okay, So I don't know, like, maybe I wake up tomorrow morning and I'm like, oh my, like, I mean, my phone's blown up from most of the people that we talked about on that show. Just it seems like they're absolutely loving it. So
but, I quite enjoyed it, but I get where you're coming from.
And I think from a marketing standpoint, man, there are so many opportunities for Funko Pops and Black Series. Are we going to get a Young Snips finally? Black Series?
Oh my god!
Right, Funko Pops. I mean, you think about the merchandising. Just from this episode alone, the merchandising. This was a page right out of George Lucas's book.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni hasn't only learned the storytelling; he's learned merchandising as well.
He's like,
they
gotta make
so
money
much
too.
Yes.
Totally.
But yeah, it's funny. Like, we always talk about how much Filoni has learned from Lucas. I think he knows more about everything then he's let it on.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he's putting it all out there, but I feel like it was really on display this time. So, but yeah, if we can move on. We can talk about Jason a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff. I don't know how you guys want to break this down, but we can talk about Jason.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I think with Jason, when he went off for that, what's the droid's name now? Huang. He was asking all those questions about the lightsaber, about the training.
Oh,
Yeah,
Again,
can you build a lightsaber? Yes.
it's
Can
one
you
of those
teach me?
things.
No.
It's one of those things where everybody, every single fan around the Star Wars universe is going, train him, build it, do it.
Yeah.
100%. I love how Chopper guards him as well.
got to
when
be Ezra.
when he stands behind him. I think that was
Does
a
he?
nice little touch.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, he hides behind Chopper.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Early,
yeah.
Uh,
I put that part. I put Huang top form. Like it's just everything he said, and of course it's just all the stuff Huang says. He's perfect. David Tennant's
he just
crushing it.
carries every scene, doesn't he?
He really every
Yeah.
scene that Huang's in, and it's not like all sarcasm. It's a lot of truth and intelligence to the stuff that he's saying, but he's saying it in a fun way. I was
Yeah.
really worried about the dialogue in this episode or in this series because I wasn't real thrilled with some of it before in like the Mando or the Jedi episode in Mando, but man,
Mhm.
it's been really really good.
I'm so glad you
And
said that about the dialogue.
And I have Jason will be trained, and I said they do a great job of explaining. There are multiple times in this episode where they throw you a little bit, like his dad was a Jedi.
Yeah.
They name drop
Yeah.
Kanan. His dad was a Jedi. That's where he's getting these powers. And then like
Yeah.
Jason's like, oh, it's just like the stories you told me about Ezra and how
Yes.
they took the bad guys away.
Literally what I was going to say.
I'm impressed with that writing. Like that's really good.
Yeah.
Like he's doing it. Us fans were like, oh my god, just hearing that like gets us all fired up. But if you're a casual fan, you can start piecing things together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a really good job by Dave and the writers. I don't
Wh-
know if he's writing it all by himself or what, but
Yeah.
that team or he's doing a great job. So
I'm so glad you said
what do
that
you guys
because
think?
the writing was on point. There was a phrase or a sentence that Anakin said to Ahsoka as well. I don't know if you caught it. Jimmy, you're always on the same wavelength as me. So it was the part where the teenager snips. Do you remember what sentence he said to her?
I don't think. I mean, it's kind of jumbled in my head right now.
Basically, he said to her, I'm training you as a soldier,
Oh,
not a Jedi. And obviously that ties in with everything
yeah.
you're saying. Her training was never complete. She was never really a Jedi. That's why she ended up getting so lost and leaving the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
And
That
that's
was
the
a
thing
really
too,
good
Taylor. I don't know,
sentence.
like Taylor. Yeah, Taylor, what do you think about this too? Like, so I never thought about it this way, but you see, Ahsoka as an adult, she's fighting. They flash back, and we'll go back to the Clone Wars episode part. But then they go to Siege of Mandalore, and she's still just a little kid.
Yeah.
And that's the last time. Just before that's the last time she sees Anakin. She's been on her own for
A long
no
time.
wonder she's so like grumpy and stoic and just cut off from the world. I mean, how did you feel about that? Seeing her, I think it really brought it into perspective how young she was at the Siege of Mandalore.
It really is. And like it almost makes sense for when like Rosario Dawson turns around and she's like, Anakin? Like she's a kid again in that moment. And you can see the kid that did see her last now. And you can see that her like outfit changes. And is this the one where it's like after the war and she's like there with the injured clones and like the clone like puts his hand on top of her hand like
Oh, that was the
or is that when she was younger? But like
no.
It's so good. And I totally love that sentence that Anakin said to her. My master taught me how to be a peacekeeper and how to do like this way because this is how the Jedi were then. now is war. So I'm teaching you how to be a warrior. I'm teaching you how to fight. And she's like, well, what if I don't want to fight? I want to stop fighting. And he's like, then you will die. And it's like, it's like, then it starts getting like really intense.
Yeah, he wasn't pulling.
Well, and
Yeah,
then
he wasn't
start
pulling
like
any punches with that.
No.
no,
At
and
all.
then
I
she said
think you're right,
she
Jimmy.
said like. And like there was a hint to like Darth Vader, like what you've become, like oh yeah, and then he's like oh that's what this is about, and then he just turns full on Darth Vader, and
Yeah,
I don't even know what was going on
it's
there.
pretty
Like
ballsy for saying that to his face. I thought.
Yeah.
yeah, well, who else is going to, right? It would be her, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you got it
yeah,
right, Jimmy,
for
when
sure.
you're saying that now, the casual fan, if you've not watched the Clone Wars or anything like that, and all you've watched is live action stuff, I think at this point now, this episode, you fully, well, not quite fully, but you will understand Ahsoka now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You've seen it all.
yeah,
You've seen what she's been through, etc., etc. So I think now this is
yeah.
the episode that will pull those casual fans across and be like, you don't need to watch the Clone Wars. This is what happened in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, you saw 5 seconds of it, so you get it. But the clones running was so good. Oh my gosh.
man, the
There's on the-
ATTEs in the background, the
I think the
lads.
first-
Are they on
but
Ryloth? Is this
Yeah, I was
is
about
this
to
a
say, I
battle
think
on
they're on
Ryloth?
Ryloth.
Because they had
Yeah.
all the because all
Yeah.
the Twi'leks. I was
Yeah.
like, or Twi'leks, however you want to say it. I say Twi'leks. Don't at me.
Yeah, I said Twilight.
But
no, I said
Twi'leks.
Twilight as well.
Twi'lek
yeah,
if you're
so
English.
yeah, but like I said, this is the first time that the volume has kind of bothered me a little bit. Not nearly
Yeah.
as bad as
Yeah.
Kenobi, but I think I get it. Like to bring all this to life, I get it, and it's fine. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it the second time
It's-
through, but yeah.
So when you
Let me
say
see.
the
Hold on.
volume, just in case anybody's listening, they don't know what you're talking about. We're not actually talking about like the volume of the episode. We're talking about this form of technology that was invented. It's like a giant screen and it goes all the way around the set, and you can pretty much put whatever background you want on it, and then you can film that background without it being like filming a film. So they
Yeah,
can
and it moves
essentially
with the
make this.
actors, and
Yeah, it's just CGI.
Yes. So yeah, so go and watch Mandalorian. The what is the show called?
the
It's like
galleries.
the
galleries,
galleries, and it'll show you about the volume. But speaking
Yeah.
of the volume, I did actually notice it this time, and it was during the Clone Wars scenes. But I also just felt like there was too much smoke and clouds. Like I get that it's a war, and I've never actually been to a war, but every direction you look is just fog or smoke, or maybe that's part of her mission, part of her vision. But I just felt like it was too. I would have liked to see like some landscape behind them and stuff too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, of these
Yeah, I would say
Clone
that.
Wars planets, but it's probably really expensive too. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be the easier option to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, that battle, so I guess we're all in agreement. We think they're on Ryloth
Mhm.
fighting, and then it kind of switches over, and there's some stuff with the ghost. Man, some of the scenes of the ships flying over the water, the ghost. I don't know
Oh,
about
the
you guys,
ghost
but, like,
flying
I
right up
wrote-
above the
Ghost.
water, so good.
I put ghost over water makes me wish I had bought it.
Oh, Jimmy.
Oh, no. Why didn't I buy it? Like it's so
Yeah.
pretty over the water, and
Oh my
I
god.
should have pulled the trigger, but I mean, I want to stay married, so I didn't. I can't really rationalize, $600 for that thing. But yeah, some of the cinematography and stuff, I just thought was absolutely beautiful. So
Yeah. No, that was really good.
And then she lands, and they're in, and I saw her, and I seeing like what were Maul's Mandalorians called? They have a special name, but seeing those Mandalorians with the horns, and that's a
I thought-
Death Watch or whatever, isn't it still? But
Yeah.
I was getting Moff Gideon vibes. I was like, oh my god, they
I
were
was
Oh,
waiting.
so
I was waiting to see
good.
Darth Saxon.
Oh.
yeah, that would have been pretty cool. And then I thought that was really awesome. The outfit change the attention to
Yeah.
detail, her sabers. I didn't even
Did
notice
you
the
see
first time
where
through
she
where the
was
sabers
holding
were
her
there.
sabers, by the way?
Yep.
Yeah,
Told you she
She
changed
was
the order.
holding
they're
them
much
near the
smaller than
ends
the
of
new
the
ones.
hilts, near the bottom parts, where you guys always complain that she doesn't hold them. But
Yeah.
she was holding them near the bottom of her hilts. So
What I noticed about this, and Jack, you can tell me what you thought, but her sabers when she's in the Clone Wars and before she gets when she gets those sabers that she has now, like they're much smaller, so she's able to kind of hold them a little bit better because now she's using that one with the curve, and she's able to put like 2 hands on it, and the fighting style has definitely changed.
I'd like to know where she got them from because they're not the same sabers. I don't think, are they?
no. Oh, which ones are we talking about?
So white sabers are definitely not the same sabers that she's been using. So when she left the order, I think she changed the sabers completely. Hence why
Oh,
she's
for
holding
sure.
it
She
lower to the
left.
hilt.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, she left the
Well,
two
according
at
to
her
the book,
grave with Rex or whatever, so that they would be found. And then in this Ahsoka book that I am holding right here, you guys, which I just finished reading for the second time, by the way, she fights an Inquisitor, and she, like his 2 crystals are like calling to her, like they do,
Yeah.
at Ilum with the Padawans. So she gets them, and then I guess she like takes some of the bits and stuff from his round lightsaber, and she's been like keeping little pieces of like metal and stuff with her, and she builds these 2 sabers and then the lightsabers are white, which turns them on, even though she expects them to
There
be
you
red.
go. Then that's it.
And then
She got it all.
yeah, but but that book has been retconned since Tales of the Jedi.
a little bit,
So it's
a
like
little bit. The story
I
has been
can,
retconned, but the battle was a different Inquisitor,
yeah, I still
right?
don't know. So like I've looked at it like the Tales of the Jedi episode just happens like after this book.
Yeah. I think they kind of retconned it, the end of it, because they retconned the beginning of it and the end of it with Clone Wars Season 7 and Tales of the
Yeah.
Jedi, unfortunately. But
Yeah, I
it's,
still really like the book, but
oh yeah, the book's good.
but
So
yeah, but it doesn't say beyond that book where she actually gets her new lightsabers from. And I know it does say like these sabers or these hilts will do for now until I fix them and get better ones to my liking or whatever. So like even the ones that she builds in this saber aren't the ones that she has now.
well, what about the ones that Anakin hands her?
So I'm pretty sure that the sabers that Anakin gives her at the end of the Clone Wars are the ones that she ends up like putting them in the grave, like by Rex's grave. It's not even Rex's real grave, so that this is during Order 66. So that when the grave is found, they find the sabers, and it's like, yes, these are Ahsoka Tano's sabers, and this is Rex, because all of the clones look exactly the same when they're all burnt up bodies. So she loses those ones.
Yeah.
She leaves them.
Yeah.
I don't know who picks them up.
All right, well that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah.
All right, well good.
Can we also just say that the Rex's voice was definitely Tamara Morrison?
Yeah, were you disappointed that he didn't take his helmet off or didn't have it off when he was talking before? I mean, it makes sense. He's going to keep his helmet on
during battle. I get it. And like there
during
was
battle, but yeah.
Yeah, and like there was the injured clones that were laying on the benches, but like their faces were all wrapped and stuff. And then but like I was listening, and when they're groaning, they're like, oh, like it's definitely the Bradley voice actor who does the clones.
Bradley Baker.
Yes, Baker. So yeah, not Cooper. He definitely voiced
Bradley
them being
Cooper.
like, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, they're not using Timwara. And then like a scene later, they use his voice. So they definitely use both, but they didn't use anybody's faces. So that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's room for it.
What else you got for us, Jimmy?
Yeah. Well, during that battle, they talk about the legacy, right? And this is something we talked about on our show 2 weeks ago, because something Hugh Wang said, like, you come from a long line of non-traditional Jedi, and we discussed all that. And of course, we heard from RFB this past episode about Luke Skywalker, and Balin tells Ahsoka right before he kicks her off the rock, your legacy is one of death and destruction. And then Anakin talks about everything he learned from his master, everything she's learning from him. He says, everything I am is inside you. And then, you're part of this legacy. And then she goes, but my part is death and war. So this is 2 times I've said this in the last 2 episodes that her legacy is death and war. So I feel like Dave's trying to plant into us, like, she has been very destructive, but she's going to be the one that kind of changes this legacy.
Is she the one that dies and starts the war for the First Order?
I don't know. I mean, if it happens, it's not happening until the movie. I would bet a lot of money on that. So, but so Jason hears her. They find her body. They rescue her. We got to see Wayne. We got to see his character out of the X-wing.
Yeah.
Brendan Wayne. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he pulls Ahsoka out.
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
and then kind of flash forward, and Ahsoka looks weird as heck without a headpiece on.
Oh my god,
So
I have
her headpiece
Ahsoka's
changes,
head thing
doesn't
is
it?
off. WTF.
Yes, I wrote that down. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I thought so. It looked like it changed. I prefer that look as well. The all white
It
look.
did. So
looks awesome.
So she woke up from her vision or whatever the heck, near-death experience, whatever, near miss. And first of all, Brendan Wayne pulls her out of the water. And that is the double for Pedro Pascal. So she's saved by the Mandalorian. Right? Because he saves her last time. And ever since then, she's got a white throw on. And then she's got like a white poncho, and then she's got like white armor that looks like Clone Wars armor on her arms, and like her headpiece is totally different, and her pants are even white. So it's like, oh my god, it's Ahsoka the White. Every time I made fun of somebody for saying that, it's like, oh no. You know
I
what
definitely
I mean?
liked how they did it in pieces. I thought it was pretty smart to have her come walking out with just like the white, like you said, throw on.
Yeah.
And then when she's going to go talk to the whales, her armor, it looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's cool to see her. Does it change? It changes Rebels, though, doesn't it? Like, if she's not in the white.
Guess so, because she shows up in the white
It's changed all the way through. I think a way to put it now sounds a bit like Dragon Ball Z, where she's in like a final form. I think that's it now. There's no more, or even like Lord of the Rings, like Gandalf the Grey. She's now Gandalf the White. She's Ahsoka the White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think
and even her like personality is different.
Yeah, she's really at peace. It seemed like when she was communicating
she's a lot more
with
focused.
That Purgles, man, they were awesome. Wow.
Oh my god, the eyes on them, they were like beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I don't even care about the animation. They were so good. And like the little like ripply fins on the side, like the cuttlefish squids, like so good. So good. And like they even glowed up when they did the like when they're like charging up to get going, like they were even glowing. It's like, oh my god, I'm just smiling so much. I
tell you what it is. This is the only gripe I've got with the episode is it's a big gamble. She hasn't got a clue where they're taking them. She hasn't got a clue where they're going. It is a big gamble. It's Star Wars, I get it, but and she sort of spoke to him, etc. But I think, in my eyes, what would have been better is, when she's walking around, she's doing all the Force stuff, and she's like remembering the events and all that. When she looks at the helmet of Sabine, how cool would it have been if Sabine had been really switched on and put like a record device on a helmet so it's recording everything while she's held her helmet?
Oh,
that would have made a lot more sense to me. Because when she looks at the helmet, I thought all the recording's going to be on there.
Yeah, I just don't think that they have the means to travel, though.
But then, this is what I'm saying. It's because they've obviously... do they 100% know what planet they're going to when they're talking to the Purgles?
I think they just got to get to that galaxy.
Yeah, but it's knowing the route and all that stuff. What I'm saying with the helmet is, if Sabine's got the helmet on, you know, when it come back up in episode 4 and it had all the coordinates on, and Balin was like,
Yeah.
this, and this, that to me would have made more sense. Because Ahsoka has gone, oh, the information was all on Sabine's helmet. She left it on record for us. She's smart, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Right, go to the Purgles, and then you can give them, I
Right.
don't know, give them coordinates or however she worked it. But I get they just went round
think
it with
they're-
using the Force.
Depending on Ezra's connection, like they know where Ezra's at, kind of thing. I mean,
Mhm.
I think they probably maybe the dialogue could have been a little bit differently when she says, "I have no idea where we're going." That you're right, Jack. That is kind of a
That's
gamble,
what
but
it's a
she's
gamble, mate.
but she's trusting in the Force to get her where she needs to be, and I think that
Yeah.
maybe shows because these
Yeah.
first 4 episodes, she's like, "Well, I didn't do this the Jedi way. I'm not doing this the Jedi way," and now she's trusting in the Force to get her where she needs to go. I don't know if that's it or not.
But,
Now
But,
she's
I
like,
mean,
I
on
am the light.
you're right, but as well with Hera, then she clearly doesn't trust the Force. She's like, "No, Jason's staying here," because I can just tell it's like one of those.
Yeah.
There's that motherly protection of, well, she doesn't look convinced and I ain't convinced, so we'll just wait here. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Chopper again making his presence known as always. I thought it was really funny, and this is the only bit really I need to talk about Chopper because I mentioned it earlier. How I like how he protects Jason, but did you notice when him and Jason were coming down the ramp? There's a big gap between the ramp and the floor, and I thought if they stay on this, that droid is going over.
Yes,
And then they switched.
I saw the same thing.
They switched for about 3 seconds, then switched back, and they were suddenly on land. And I thought, yeah, clever.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like the
Movie magic.
The ramp. The ramp is like, and I thought because like the ramp was like a foot or so more, like just missing. So I was like, there's no way
Oh.
the Chopper's getting down that.
Yeah, not
But
a chance.
How about his uh-oh? I liked his uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
pretty
like,
good at
I
the
knew he was in
end.
trouble.
and the
Yeah,
Republic was there to get Hera, like, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they're not messing around too. So now we're gonna have. It looks like we'll have Hera back on Coruscant, which I didn't think they'd be on Coruscant. I thought they'd be because in the Aftermath series they're in a different place.
Yeah,
They're back on Chandrilla.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
but I mean, I don't know. I don't know the time frame, but I do know that they moved the capital to Chandrilla for a little while. Chandrilla before they move it to Hosnian Prime. The scene with the Ghost, the T6, and the X-wings, I was like, oh, like the little boy inside of me was like screaming.
Yeah.
I was like, I need all of those, and I thought I have most of them, so I need to recreate that scene with my Legos. I need to buy a few more X-wings, but that was really cool. What are you guys' your final thoughts? I guess Taylor.
Well, I just really, really liked this episode, and like, I don't know, I'm thinking about it like a different way that you guys are, I guess. Like, no, maybe it's not my favorite episode, but man, I have been waiting for those Anakin like flashbacks and like the Clone Wars flashbacks since like Kenobi last year. Like we finally got them. I can't even believe that they made Hayden Christensen look so good in all the different like time eras. Like
really
They
good job.
they did his hair
didn't make him
perfectly,
look-
and there was like
he just rolls out of bed like that.
yeah, right. Come on, ladies. Oh, we're watching it for the story. Yeah. We're watching it for Hayden Christensen whipping lightsabers around like it's 1990. Like, oh my gosh. His moves were so good still, and there was like some of his old like Revenge of the Sith moves for sure. Like, oh my gosh, so good. And that's the part of me that just gets me so excited, like in my chest just gets all like, woo. Sorry, I just sound like a nutcase, but yeah, I don't know. The wait was worth it for me. I'm really excited and happy about that episode. I'm gonna go downstairs and rewatch it again now with my husband. Now that
How many love cats you giving it then,
because
Taylor?
I just don't wait for him. I just start watching it right away when it starts playing, and then it's like, sorry, okay, we can watch it together after. But I guess we have scores to give. Hey guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. Jimmy, you go first. I don't want to go first.
I'm trying to think of what we scored the last ones. I don't have them written down in front of me, unfortunately. I know I gave 9.5 last week, but that was definitely my favorite episode. I think we went 9, 8.5. I'm going to say an 8, maybe 7.5, 8. There is just something.
I still think that's too
I
kind.
really, really, really loved all the pieces of it. I loved. I don't feel like it flowed as well as it should have, but I really like the episode. It's very confusing
Now I'm
for
with you.
even myself as I'm saying it out loud. But there's something about the timing or something that was off for me. But I loved everything that was in it. Maybe it's just the way it was. I don't know, because there's a lot of things
very
like I said, like it didn't jump well for me, I guess, from phase to phase to phase.
It was a very, very difficult episode.
I would say I'll say 7.5.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'm with Jimmy.
Jack, what about
completely.
you, my man?
I think it was a very difficult episode to direct. And I reckon it really tested Dave Filoni. I reckon there's a lot of editing, a lot of going back over things. It's a very difficult episode. Probably experienced not disjointed, but didn't flow right. I'm totally with you on that, Jimmy. Obviously, I've got not a gripe, but the thing about just jumping in the whale's mouth and off we go. They mentioned about Leia Organa, and it gripes me big time that she's been there from the off, and she still hasn't got the power. And the Republic are their own worst enemy. I dislike the Republic a lot. But I did enjoy it. I love the little scenes. I love things changing throughout the Clone Wars. I like the volume. I love Anakin's hair. I love the saber fights. The Jason stuff was brilliant. The music was brilliant. But for me, I'm only going to go for 7 Lothcats for me.
7 Lothcats. Yeah, 7.5. And then Taylor, what'd you say?
Man.
8.5. What did you say, Taylor? What was yours?
I'm going to go with 8.5 Lothcats out of 10. So, yes, I'm going to chop someone in half. And I don't know, maybe the ladies' opinions are a little bit on the higher side because we got a lot of...
got that eye candy.
We got lots of eye candy this episode. So,
that's right.
I don't know.
We'll
just have to see. We'll have to see what everybody's scores are. Ladies, let's see your scores for Hayden Christensen. I mean, for episode 5. And guys too.
Awesome. I think
he's a handsome man,
isn't it, Jimmy?
I think so.
Cool. As always, leave some feedback, comments. Give us your scores on all the socials, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Feel free to email us at exploretheforce@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. I think me and Jimmy released an episode today, Tuesday, with all the comments and that we've been getting, so keep them coming. There's a few of you that got some really good predictions that came in. I think Rob McCauley got it 100% bang on. Intro, story, outro. So well done to you, Rob. And I think that is everything.
Taylor,
so as always, then.
You underestimate my power.
From me, then. I told them to stay together.
And for all of us,
and from me,
we have spoken.
All right, thanks, guys.